Good morning to all my friends. Today we'll see the discussion of the case of steady motion under conservative body force. Uh, we'll see the potential theorem. If S is the boundary of a spherical surface lying wholly within the fluid, then we want to prove the mean value of velocity potential is equal to its value at the center of the sphere. Now we'll see the proof of this potential theorem. Suppose r is the radius of the spherical surface S. Suppose uh, suppose this is a spherical surface. This is a point P. And this is the surface S, and this is the radius R of a spherical surface S, and P is the center of this spherical surface. So this P is lying within this fluid. This is all is in this containing the fluid. The spherical surface is in the, this is all in the fluid. Then the mean value of potential function phi on this spherical surface S is capital Phi, and that phi is equal to 1 upon 4 pi square integration over spherical surface S phi ds. Suppose this is number first. Now to show that this phi, this phi is independent of this r and depends only on the center of this point, center of the point P, center of the point P, center of the point P of the spherical surface, this S, and that S is a theta, S is a theta. And if this element ds subtend a solid angle d omega at the center of a sphere, then what we get? We get this ds is equal to r square d omega. Suppose this is secant. Means what we get? We get this ds is equal to r square d omega. And therefore what we get? In place of this ds, we will write r square d omega. And therefore what do we get? We get integration over surface S phi r square d omega, and this r and this r will be cancelled, and what do we get? We get phi is equal to, this phi is equal to 1 upon 4 pi integration over S phi d omega, we get this phi is equal to 1 by 4 pi integration over surface S phi d omega. Now differentiate this phi is equal to 1 by 4 integration over s d omega with respect to r, with respect to r. Then what do we get? What do we get? We get dou phi by dou r is equal to 1 upon 4 pi dou by dou r of integration over s phi dw, phi dw. So this can be written as this can be written as 1 by 4 integration over s dou by dou r of phi d omega, and again this is equal to 1 by 4 pi integration over s dou phi by dou r. And what is ds? In place of dw, we know that we have ds is equal to r square d omega. We know this relation. By using this relation, we get dw is equal to ds upon r square. Then what do we get? We get this dou phi by dou r is equal to 1 upon 4 pi r square integration over s, and this dou phi by dou r into ds. This is the equation third. Here the operator dou phi by dou r on the spherical surface is present the radial direction, which is equivalent to outward drawn normal to the surface, and therefore we have integration over s dou phi by dou r into ds is equal to integration over s dou phi by dou n into s into ds is equal to, this can be written as integration over s n dot del phi ds. So integration over s dou phi by dou r into ds is equal to, this can be written as integration over v del into del phi dv is equal to 0 by using the divergence theorem. We know that divergence theorem is integration over s n dot del phi ds is equal to integration over v del into del phi dv, and this is equal to 0. We know this. So what do we get? We get integration over v as it is. This is del square phi dv is equal to integration over v. We know that del square phi is 0, so this will be 0 is equal to 0. So what do we have? We have integration over s dou phi by dou r into ds is 0. What do we have? We have integration over s dou phi by dou r into ds is 0. Now put this value in equation third. Integration over s dou phi by dou r into ds is equal to 0. Put this value. So what do we get? Dou phi by dou r as it is equal to 1 by 4 pi r square as it is, and we have integration over s dou phi by dou r ds is 0. So 1 by 4 pi 1 upon 4 pi r square into 0 is 0. So what do you get? We get this dou phi by dou r is 0. This dou phi by dou r is 0. So here this phi is independent of r of the spherical surface, but depends only on the center, so that the mean value of phi is same over all surfaces, over all spheres having the same center, and therefore is equal to its value at the center. Hence this result is proved. Now we'll see the next theorem. Suppose if summation is the solid boundary of a large spherical surface of radius r containing fluid in a motion, also enclosing one or more closed surfaces, then we want to prove the mean value of phi on summation is of the form capital phi is equal to capital M upon capital R plus C, where M comma C are the constants, and provided that the fluid extends to infinity and is at rest there. We want to prove this. Suppose that all these are the spheres S1, S2, S3, S4, so and so up to Sn are the finite number of closed surfaces. These are the closed surfaces with this summation. We all are here, so this is the summation of this, and 4 pi m denotes the rate of volume of fluid which moves out of smallest closed spherical surfaces S1 to S1, S2 up to Sn. As the fluid is incompressible, homogeneous, then we have integration over summation q bar dot n bar ds is equal to integration over summation minus del phi into n bar ds, and here this summation is a spherical surfaces of radius r, and n is the radial direction, and this n is the radial directions. We have 4 pi m is equal to minus integration over summation dou phi by dou r into ds 4 pi. Suppose this is first, and now put this ds is equal to r square d omega in this equation first. Then we get this 4 pi m is equal to minus integration over summation dou phi by dou r into r square d omega, and therefore this is equal to 1 by 4 pi integration over summation dou phi by dou r into d omega is equal to minus m upon r square. So what we get? We get 1 upon 4 pi dou by dou r integration over summation phi d omega is equal to minus m upon r square. Suppose this is equation third. Now integrate this equation with respect to r. Then what we get? If integrating this, we get 1 upon 4 pi integration over summation phi d omega. Integration and the differentiation will be cancelled. We get what we get? We get this m upon r plus c, integration constant c. So this as we have not drawn the integration here. I will write here as it is. Only integrate this with respect to r. So we have this 1 upon 4 pi summation integration over summation phi d omega is equal to m upon r, and this constant c, integration constant c. From equation second, what we get? We get 1 upon 4 pi r square integration over summation phi ds is equal to m upon r plus c, and this is equal to phi. So we have this phi is equal to m upon r plus c, where this c is independent of r. To show that it is an absolute constant, we must prove that it is independent of the coordinates of the center of summation. And suppose that the sphere displaced to a distance delta x, distance is delta x, in any direction keeping r constant, then from equation 4, then from equation 4, the change in phi that phi is dou phi by dou x into delta x, small delta x, can be written as 1 upon 4 pi r square integration over summation dou phi by dou x into delta x ds into delta x ds, and this can be written as this is equal to dou c by dou x into delta x. But we know that this dou phi by dou x is 0 on this summation when r tends to infinity. Since the liquid is at rest at infinity, thus for large r, what we get? We get this dou c by dou x is 0, and therefore we get phi is equal to m upon r plus c, and where m and c are these are the constants. Now we'll see the next theorem, that theorem is if summation is the solid boundary of a large spherical surface of radius r containing a fluid in motion which is at rest at infinity, and if each surface SM is a rigid, then the kinetic energy of the moving fluid is T is equal to 1 by 2 rho integration over V q square dV is equal to 1 by 2 rho summation m is equal to 1 to k integration over SM phi dou phi by dou n into ds. The normal at each surface element ds being drawn outward from the fluid. So we'll see the proof of this theorem. The kinetic energy of fluid particle of mass is rho into del V is equal to 1 by 2 rho into del V q square is equal to 1 by 2 rho into del phi square dV. Suppose this is number 1, where this q where the q is the velocity. This is not q, this is 1 by 2, where q is the velocity of fluid, and therefore kinetic energy of entire fluid T, this is denoted by in this symbol, is T is equal to 1 by 2 rho integration over V del phi square dV, where V is the total volume of a fluid. fluid. This V is a total volume of a fluid. And we know this del phi whole square is del dot phi del phi. Del phi square is equal to del into phi del phi. And this del V, del into dV, del into dV is NDS. We know these relations. Which relations? This del phi square is equal to del into phi del phi, and del dV is equal to NDS. So what we get? We have T is equal to 1 by rho integration over V. Del phi square is del dot phi del phi dV as it is. We have this equation, and if we have already know that we know this del phi square is equal to del dot phi del phi. We know this, and also del dV is equal to NDS. So put this in the equation of the kinetic energy of the entire fluid T, and we know the kinetic energy of the entire fluid T is 1 by 2 rho integration over V del phi square dV. So in place of this del phi square, we have del dot del phi. So what we get? We get this T is equal to 1 by 2 rho integration over V del dot phi del phi. By putting del phi square is equal to del dot phi del phi, we get this equation, and this can be written as this 1 by 2 as it is, this rho as it is. So integration over S now, total surface is total surface into N dot phi del phi into ds. So this can be written as this: T is equal to 1 by 2 rho integration over total surface N dot phi del phi into ds, and this is equal to, this can be written as 1 by 2 rho integration over summation phi dou phi by dou n into ds plus 1 by 2 rho summation m is equal to 1 to k integration over sm phi dou phi by dou n into ds. Suppose this is equation 3rd. The equation of continuity for entire region V, entire region capital V is integration over summation dou phi by dou n into ds plus summation over m is equal to 1 to k integration over sm dou phi by dou n into ds is equal to 0. Now multiplying this equation on both the sides by rho c by 2, then what we get? We get rho c by 2 integration over summation dou phi by dou n into ds plus summation m is equal to 1 to k rho c by 2 integration over s dou phi by dou n into integration over sm dou phi by dou n into ds is equal to 0. Now subtract this equation 4 from equation 3. Subtract this equation 4 from equation 3. So what do we get? If we subtracting equation 4 in equation 3, that is equation 3 minus equation 4, then we get this t is equal to 1 by 2 rho summation integration over summation phi minus c dou phi by dou n into ds plus 1 by 2 rho summation m is equal to 1 to k integration over sm phi minus c dou phi by dou n into ds. Suppose this is number 5th. We subtract equation 4 from equation 3, then we get this equation 5th, where this c is any constant. Now taking this c to be the value of phi, when p tends to infinity, we have on making r tends to infinity, what we get? We get this t is equal to 1 by 2 rho summation m is equal to 1 to k phi minus c dou phi by dou n into ds. On each rigid surface Sm, there is no flow. If there is no flow, then that will be integration over Sm dou phi by dou n into ds is equal to 0. And therefore, what we get? We get T is equal to 1 by 2 rho summation k is equal to 1 to m integration over Sm phi dou phi by dou n into ds, and hence we prove this result. Now let's see the next theorem. That theorem is, if summation is the solid boundary of a large spherical surface of radius r containing the fluid in motion is at rest at infinitely, and if either phi or dou phi by dou n is prescribed on each surface Sm, then phi is determined uniquely throughout this V to within an arbitrary constant. We know this relation, integration over V del phi square dV is equal to summation k is equal to 1 to m integration over Sm phi dou phi by dou n into ds. And also we know del square phi is 0. Suppose this is secant. Now suppose that phi is equal to phi 1, phi is equal to phi 2 are the two solutions of this equation secant. Subject to this equation first, we can write this psi is equal to phi 1 minus phi 2. We can write this and operate del square. So this will be del square psi is equal to del square phi 1 minus del square phi 2, and which is equal to 0 in V. And thus this psi is a harmonic function satisfying the similar conditions phi 1 and phi 2. So what do we get? Therefore we get integration over V del psi square dV is equal to summation k is equal to 1 to m integration over Sm psi dou psi by dou n into ds. On each Sm either phi 1 is equal to phi 2 or dou phi 1 by dou n is equal to dou phi 2 by dou n. That is either psi is equal to 0 or dou psi by dou n is equal to 0. And therefore in all cases psi dou psi by dou n is equal to 0 on each Sm, and therefore what we get? We get this summation summation k is equal to 1 to m psi dou psi n ds is 0, means this is 0. This is 0. Therefore, what we get? We get this is 0. If this is 0, then integration over v del psi square dv is 0. And that is this is equal to 0. Suppose this is number 5th. So since this del into psi square, del psi square is greater than or equal to 0, and the condition 4 hold only if, which is a condition 4? Condition 4 is this: integration over v del square del into psi of whole square dv is equal to 0. If this holds, if this del psi is equal to 0 in v, and therefore if we integrate this, we get psi is equal to constant. We get psi is equal to constant, or phi 1 minus phi 2 is equal to constant, and thus function psi is continuous, so that if phi is prescribed on any one SM, the constant is 0. If the velocities are prescribed on each SM, then constant cannot be evaluated. So this theorem is also proved here. Now we'll see the next article. That article is some special two-dimensional flows. In this two-dimensional flows, suppose a fluid moves in such a way that its motion in all planes parallel to a given plane in the fluid have the same pattern at any considered instant of time, and such motion is said to be two-dimensional. Since the knowledge of the motion in any one such plane determines the throughout the body of fluid, also there can be no motion perpendicular to such a plane. For such two-dimensional motion, let z-axis be taken normal to each of the parallel planes in which the patterns of the flow are congruent at any instant. Then for irrotational incompressible flow, the equation of continuity in the Cartesians x, y, z is dou 2 phi by dou x square plus dou 2 phi by dou y square is equal to 0. And in cylindrical polar coordinates or theta z, it is dou 2 phi by dou r square plus 1 upon r dou phi by dou r plus 1 upon r square dou 2 phi by dou theta square is equal to 0. Suppose this is number 1 and suppose this is second. The special solution of second are phi is equal to r cos theta. Solution of the second are phi is equal to r cos theta, and this can be written as phi is equal to 1 upon r cos theta by the method of separation of variables. And since the equation is linear, a more general type of solution is phi is equal to ar plus br to the power minus 1 into cos theta. Now we'll see the next article. Some further aspects of vortex motion. Before that, we will see the definition of flow. What is flow? Consider any 2 points. A and B in a fluid. Then value of integral is integration u dx plus v dy plus w dz is equal to q dot integration q dot dr. Taking along any path of the fluid is called flow from A to B. Consider any 2 points. Suppose here flow, and flow is in this direction, and suppose consider these 2 points of this stream, and here is suppose B. Then the value of integral is integration u dx plus integration v dy plus integration w dz is equal to integration q dot dr. And taking along any path of the fluid is called flow from this A to B. Along that path. If the motion is irrotational, then flow is u dx plus v dy plus w dz is equal to integration over A to B q dot dr. So what do we get? We know that q is equal to minus del phi. So put here minus del phi. Then what we get? Integration over A to B q dot dr is equal to integration over A to B. Q is minus del phi into dr. So what do we get? This can be written as integration over A to B minus integration over A to B d phi. So integration of this is minus phi from A to B. So this can be written as phi of A minus phi of B. Here this phi of A is a velocity potential at A and this phi of B is a velocity potential at B. Now we'll see the circulation. 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 Flow along any closed path. Suppose this is a closed path from point A to B here, and flow is flowing in this way. This is the circular path of flow. Flow along any closed path defined as a circulation. Flow along any closed path defined as a circulation. The circulation C is integration over C q dot dr. If the motion is irrotational, then the circulation along any closed path is zero. If the motion is irrotational, then the circulation along any closed path is zero. And therefore, what do we have? We have integration over A to B q dot dr is equal to, we know q is minus del phi, so this is minus del phi is equal to minus, this can be written as integration over A to B d phi. Integrate this, you get upper limit minus lower limit. So upper limit is B and lower limit is A. So minus phi of B minus phi of A, and that is phi of A minus phi of B. When curve is closed, then A is equal to B, and therefore this integration over C q dr is equal to this phi of A minus phi of B, which is equal to 0. Hence this article is also, this definition or the explanation of the circulation of flow in a closed path is defined here. Okay, today we'll stop here. Tomorrow our next point is the Kelvin's circulation theorem. Tomorrow we will take the Kelvin's circulation theorem. Okay, today we'll stop here.